So what do experiencing synchronistic events in your life actually mean? That is what we're going to get into today. Also, we're going to talk about synchronicity and your dreams and what that means. So sit tight. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Jen. I help people reinvent their reality. We're going to talk about synchronicity today. This is a hot one. This is one that is very interesting. It's very interesting. It's like, what is synchronicity? Why do we have synchronistic events happening in our life? You may see numbers, you may get glimpses of like these premonitions almost, where you're thinking of something and then something happens. That's exactly what you were thinking, or somebody, almost like a form of ESP in some cases as well. So synchronicity it's very interesting. It's almost like a glimpse into a break in the fabric of reality, which basically shows how connected or how things in nature have a particular order to them. So it's basically us seeing the order of nature, the order of things in our reality. So when we experience a synchronistic event in our day-to-day, it's almost like we experience an absence of this separation that our mind creates. Because we don't see synchronistic events like all the time, it just goes to show how fragmented or how much we've kind of separated ourselves, the internal versus the external, how our minds or our ego have created this idea of separation, okay? Me versus you, okay? Everything is separate that I see in this physical world. But as some people, or as we expand our consciousness, we may start to notice more synchronistic events happening. Also, if we're more in a creative flow state, you may notice that you start seeing synchronicities more often, because what happens is we're less in our logical brain, and we're more in just this flow state where we're actually in tune with nature. We're in tune with everything around us. If we understand that we are one universal consciousness, we are part of everything, okay? We're not just this single thing that is outside of everything else. That is what our common sense tells us, and that's why it's hard for us to kind of grasp it. Because what happens is, you know, when we see something synchronistic, it's very odd to us, very peculiar to us, because we're not used to it. We're not used to this idea of that we affect the whole. So let's get into dreams now. So why am I bringing up dreams? Because dreams, they blur the line, blur the imaginary line between the inner self and the outer reality. So if you ever notice dreams are very peculiar, right? You may have experienced synchronistic things in your dreams because there's no line, there's no segregation, because the conscious mind has not come in. You know, it's all the unconscious mind. The subconscious mind is at work when we're dreaming. So when we wake up, right away, our conscious mind snaps back into place and we say, oh, that was weird. We think of this idea of separation, right? And we're kind of snapped back into our physical world. And we realize that, well, okay, in the dream it felt very real, right? But just think of me now in a conscious state, okay? I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing things in the room and TV and like a chair and all these things, and that's over there. That is something separate from me. And I'm here. And I have what's going on in my head too, but everything is separate. Everything, you know, the thought of everything as one is crazy to me, right? If I'm dreaming, if I close my eyes and I go into my subconscious state, then in the dream, it's almost like I'm standing here where I am now, and in my dream I'm seeing the TV, I'm seeing the chair, I'm seeing all these other things. So it's not until I wake up where I realize, oh, that was just a dream, right? So it was all an illusion. So if it was all an illusion in my dream, then would that not mean that my objective reality is also an illusion? I don't know. Technically not, but what it does show us is how we're so connected and how we form this imaginary line between our inner self and our outer self. If in our subconscious mind we are creating this world that seems so real to us, and it's not until we wake up and our conscious mind, our common sense gets in the way, right? We realize that there really is no line. Everything is coming from inside of us through our thoughts and our feelings, and it's projecting out into this physical reality that we see. Okay, so maybe reality is illusionary. Well, it all depends on your opinion, but realize that through your internal thought, through your internal psychological state, you basically create your physical reality, right? You did so in the dream, so why do you not do that in your objective reality right now? So then you start to understand the bigger picture that, okay, if I affect through my thoughts and my feelings, I affect what I'm seeing around me. And if you take this idea of synchronicities and that we are all in this together, we are all this one universal consciousness, we are all part of this greater whole where there's a particular order of things, you start to think and you say, wow, okay, I'm part of the greater whole. I control reality through my thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, everything I'm thinking and the actions that I'm taking affect the whole, affect everything around me. So, guys, this is why when we're trying to change something in our physical reality, if you look at like politics or even medical stuff, right? You can't just treat the symptoms, because if you just treat the symptoms, then there's going to be other side effects that come with it, right? You have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at it from the aspect that we're all this one consciousness per se. We're all affecting stuff outside of us because it's not really outside of us. It's the same, right? You're like, mind blown. But think about it. So in medicine, for example, that's why something like holistic medicine takes the approach of, okay, we have to look at the behavior, we have to look at the diet, we have to look at sleep, we have to look at, relationships with a person. You have to take account into everything to actually get to the root of the problem. So you're not just treating the symptoms of the problem, you're treating the root. Otherwise, you're just treating the symptoms. You're going to have side effects of those symptoms and then side effects of those symptoms, things like that. So I kind of went off track a little bit with the synchronicity aspect, but it all comes together if you think about it. So realize that, dreams are a good way to kind of experience, or a little reminder that we create this false illusion of separation. And it's formed through our ego, right? This identity that we have, because we can't see things as us, or that we're all this one thing. We don't comprehend it in our logical mind. But realize that, when we're sleeping, when we're dreaming, that line gets blurred. That's why we have very peculiar things happening in our dreams. That's why we have synchronistic events happening in our dreams. But when we have synchronistic events happening in our physical objective reality, it seems very weird. It may not seem weird in the dream while we're dreaming, but when we wake up, it seems weird. Or when we have it in our day-to-day life, it seems weird. But just realize that it's kind of like a little break in the fabric of reality and showing us the order of all things in nature, that we are part of nature because we are in sync in these certain little moments, and we think they're very cool, right? Like, wow, like, we're flowing with nature. That's why you feel more connected. When you see something like that, a number or something, or you're thinking about something and it happens, you feel more connected automatically to nature. That's you expanding your consciousness. That's your connection to all things. So just remember that. Don't look at it as weird. Think of it as, wow, okay, this is a reminder that I'm affecting everything around me because I'm part of everything around me. So with that being said, I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope it made sense to you. I hope it did. Let me know in the comments below if you would. If you experience a lot of synchronistic events, let me know. I'd be very curious to hear what kind of events you have, even in your dreams, if you've put the connection together, how you feel about that. I'd love to hear. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I put out a video every single morning. And other than that, have a great day, and I will see you on tomorrow.